this Kansas City. Shit's ran gritty. In the summertime, the chicks be damn pretty. Born in the projects, then to the Ville.
Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Bossy, and I'm here with a story time. So you guys, first things first, y'all might hear some kids screaming and playing and stuff bumping because I was trying to get this video up for y'all ASAP, and these kids ain't sleep yet, and that baby boy of mine is going crazy in this house. So no kids are being harmed at all. They just scream when they play. But first, you guys, I do want to say welcome to all of my new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying my channel. And you guys, I got some exciting news for y'all. Okay. The week of August 1st, I believe, I will be doing a full week of story times. Yay! I know you guys are going to enjoy it. Some of the stories are somewhat funny, some are kind of more serious, and some you might just think are boring, but you guys, you know what I'm saying? These are events that happen in my life, and so I want to go ahead and share them with you. So that's from Monday to Sunday. I pray that I can get these videos up how I want to, because remember, I'm a mother of 5. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and get into this story time. So this story time is about the time I was pulled over with my cousins and we had weed on us. Y'all probably like, girl, you smoked weed? Yeah, I did a lot of things in my younger days that I regret, but you live and you learn. So what happened was, me and my cousins decided to hang out. It was on a weekend. I'm going to switch my cousins' names for the sake of the video. My cousin, what am I gonna call her? Oh, I do have a cousin named Nene. Let me see. My cousin, I'm gonna call her Mimi, and my cousin Riri. So it was myself, Riri, and Mimi. When this happened, I think I was about I want to say 18, maybe 19. I can't remember if I had my daughter already, but I think this happened before I even had my daughter. And I had a cousin, she was 3 years older than us, and so, you know, she had a car and she was always going out doing this and doing that, and she's not the one that got me to, you know, smoking. I have brothers that did that stuff. I'm the only girl and I have 4 brothers, so 3 out of the 4 of my brothers did that stuff. And I mean, it was around me a lot, so like I just did it, and when I did it, I honestly liked it. Yeah, but then eventually that stuff got old. But so one weekend we decided to link up, and we just wanted to, I think we probably went out like to eat or to the movies. That's the only thing that we really did. We also picked up our other friend Maya, and I think we had went to the movies or whatever, and we were chilling. And so my cousin Mimi, she basically was like, you know, I got some green, I got some weed or whatever, you down? She knew I was down, but we had a cousin in the car that did not that did not smoke at all. She wasn't a bad girl at all, and you know what I'm talking about, because you know I love you and I asked your permission for this video to be done. So she didn't do a lot of bad crazy stuff like Mimi and I. So we had just dropped off Maya or whatever, and Maya actually lived in Kansas and I'm on the Missouri side. After we, you know, went to the movies and out to eat or whatever, it was really late and Maya stayed in Kansas, so we went to drop her off. Now you guys, it was super late, and for whatever reason, when we had dropped Maya off, something caught my eye. It was pitch black. You know how the police will be off in the cuts with their lights off, you know, trying to be hidden, so like you can't see them, so if you're doing something they can just whoop whoop pull out up on you. That's how it was. Like, this police car was off in the cuts, and I don't think my cousin Mimi had saw him. When Maya got out the car or whatever, my cousin Mimi pulled out the sack, and you know, she was rolling her blunt, and we began to smoke. Now, number one, Mimi's car looked like a car that the police might suspect as suspicious or whatever. And we were in Kansas. I'm just gonna keep it real. It ain't all the way friendly over there. And so we was in the car, windows up, and Mimi and I began to smoke. Now, Riri was in the back seat. She didn't smoke, but I think we were trying to get her to. I think we were like trying to have pure pressure, but I really can't remember if she took a hit or not. Like, I just can't remember. I think she did, but I'm not sure. But anyway, so we in the car smoking, and all the windows are up. Even if Riri didn't smoke nothing, I'm sure she was beginning to get a contact. So the windows are rolled up, and of course it gets super cloudy all in the car. So, you know, we in the car for not even maybe 2 minutes, sparking up, you know, smoking or whatever. Yeah, I know y'all probably like, girl, you ain't even saying the stuff right. Look, I'm 31 years old. This happened a long time ago. We pull up out of the apartment complex and we begin to drive. All of a sudden, I turn and I see lights shining behind us. So I panic. I'm like, Mimi, oh my God, the police are behind us. Mind you, we both have already been smoking. The only one that hasn't really been smoking is Riri, and she's in the back seat. So I'm panicking, scared out of my mind, because I've never been pulled over with weed in the car. Hell, I don't even think I had my license yet, so I was not trying to go to jail or just mess up any future plans for myself. So anyway, she kind of kept driving, and I was like, you gotta pull over. So she pulls over and we freaking out. So we still have this blunt in the car. We can't throw it out the window because the police car is pulling up right behind us. So the next thing I know, all of a sudden, I can't remember who said it, but one of my cousins said, Basima, swallow it. And I'm like, I'm not swallowing that. They told me to swallow it. I'm like, are you crazy? So then I was like, you swallow it. I think it was Riri. I was like, you swallow it. And she was like, no, I'm not swallowing that. And then somehow somebody said, put it in your pants. So Riri wasn't gonna do it. I don't know what Mimi was doing. I don't know why she didn't end up putting nothing in her pants. Like, I don't know, but somehow it was just me and Riri going back and forth about who was gonna do what with the blunt. And so I end up putting it in my pants. Because like I said, they were gonna search the car. I knew that for a fact. We couldn't throw it out the window. So I'm sitting there shaking my ass off. I'm terrified. And the first thing I'm thinking about is my daddy finding out. Now, if y'all seen my story time about how when I told my daddy I was pregnant, y'all, I was terrified that somehow my father was gonna find out. There were two white police officers. One came and knocked on Mimi's window and one came and knocked on mine, and he had the flashlight. So I'm just sitting there like shaking, trying to be calm and act normal or whatever. And I don't even know what Riri was doing in the back seat, but all I know is we was so quiet. My cousin is like rolling down her window, and we clearly smell like weed. And I'm sure when she rolled the window down, either smoke came out or the smell of the weed came out of the car. So they didn't even hardly ask no questions. They told us to get out of the car. Mind you, we were in Kansas. I mean, we were kind of far in Kansas. It was 3 young black girls, and I was terrified. So they get us out of the car. Y'all, this is so embarrassing, and it's so funny because it was, if you had been there, it was super funny. Like, y'all were like, it ain't that serious, but no, it was so funny that night. Maybe because we was high, but it was extremely funny. And so they make us get out of the car. They asked us if we had anything on us, and my cousin Mimi was like, no, we don't have nothing. And they were asking like, well, why does it smell like weed in the car? Why does it smell like weed? So they're actually searching my cousin's car while me and my other 2 cousins are standing outside freaking out, trying to think, what are we gonna tell these officers? Because Like, any sane person would know clearly. It was weed in the car. We was smoking. We rolled windows down. Smoke comes out the car. And like clouds of smoke. Probably not clouds, but you know what I mean. Like, smoke comes out. Clearly one of us probably looked high. Probably Mimi, because she used to get it in. And like, we just look nuts. And so somehow they tell us to sit on the curb. And so we all sitting on the curb. And oh my God, it was hilarious. One of the police officers, because for one, the weed is in my pants. And I'm thinking they're gonna like body search us. They didn't body search us or anything like that, but they were just basically like telling us to sit down on the curb. And so we're sitting there and I'm trying not to cry. Like, I'm so scared. Somehow one of the police officers come over to us and say, stick out your tongue. And my cousin Riri was like, why do we have to stick out our tongues? And he was like, I need you to stick out your tongue right now. So I go sticking out my tongue. Like, I just hurried up and stuck my tongue out. I'm not thinking like, why the hell am I sticking my tongue out? But I stick my tongue out. And then my cousin Riri, she was like, why do we have to stick out our tongues? He was like, stick out your tongue so I can see if you've been smoking weed. If you've been smoking weed, your tongue will be green and we'll know you were smoking. And I was like, I'm thinking, what? So my cousin was like, her mom is a lawyer. So, you know, she knows a lot of, you know, stuff. And I mean, clearly, just what he said was a lie. I don't know if that's true, if people can tell if you've been smoking, if your tongue is green. But I guess they thought we was idiots, but I still like stuck out my tongue. I was trying to follow orders. Y'all, I was scared back then. And it was nighttime? Hell no. So she was like, stick out my tongue for what? She was like, I'm not sticking out of my tongue. She was like, my mother's a lawyer. I don't have to stick out my tongue. So I'm thinking, oh my God, like, be quiet, Riri, just be quiet. And my cousin Mimi, she just over there shaking her head like, we just knew we were going to jail. So he was like, you know, oh yeah, smarty pants, like, because my cousin, she knows what she be talking about, but that wasn't the right time to be saying all of that stuff. And we was out alone, like, a little bit of ways from the apartments now by ourselves. Like, I didn't know what was gonna happen. And so finally, after them going back and forth, and I'm just like trying to cry so they would not take us to jail. Like, I remember trying to cry because I was just thinking about my father. And they finally told us to get up and get in the police car. So I'm like, oh my God, we are going to jail. Oh my God. And they called a tow truck for my cousin Mimi's car because I guess they were taking her car. I don't know if she didn't have insurance. I don't know why they were taking her car, but I really can't remember. But anyway, they were calling a tow truck to come and get her car, and they told all of us to get in the back of the police car. I have never been in a police car in my life. When we got in those back seats, it was like hard seats. Like, I don't know if any of y'all have been in police cars before. I know some of my subscribers have, but like, it was like hard, like black seats. It wasn't no cushion. It wasn't comfortable at all. And so I'm thinking, where the hell are they taking us? So somehow, like, we talked them into like just dropping us off at Denny's, and they took us to Denny's and like just left us there. Basically, we had to find a way home. I guess they end up saying, because I was so distraught, they figured all these 3 black little girls, poor things, we just gonna go ahead and let them. But they not leaving with the car because I know they had weed on them. And so they drop us off at Denny's, and I'm thinking like, how the hell are we gonna get home? And so I'm thinking, I'm not calling my father to come all the way out here to pick us up, because for one, he's gonna be like, you were with Mimi, so where's her car? Why can't she bring you home? Oh, and my mother, she didn't drive, so she wasn't gonna even attempt to pick me up. And we weren't gonna call Riri's mother and father because, like I said, her mother's a lawyer. I'm sure we still smelled like weed. I know I did for sure. I had the stuff on me. I know we smelled like weed, and I think we were still a little high. At least I was, and Mimi. Riri, not so much. I think she was just really upset. And so we couldn't call Riri's parents, and then we couldn't actually call Mimi's parents either. But that's what happens when you have a large family and a bunch of siblings. Mimi called one of her older brothers to pick us up. He lived in Kansas, but he was gonna come pick us up. So after the police dropped us off, we just went in Denny's and sat down, and we were just trying to think of stories to tell why, one, Mimi doesn't have her car, how and why we got to Denny's. Like, I don't know what we came up with, but I had given up at that point. I was like, I'm just over it. Like, it was too stressful for me that night. But he eventually came and picked us up. As soon as we got in the car, he already knew. Like, we smelled like weed. And I end up, when the police officers pulled off from Denny's, I end up like getting the blunt up out of my underwear and like shimmied it down my leg through my pants leg and just like stepped on it and tried to smooth it to the side. Like, at that point, I feel like, you know what, I might need this, because I was stressed out. I was nervous. I was scared. I think Mimi ended up going to my house or something. So he dropped like Riri off at home and took me and Mimi home. And the whole night we were just up trying to think about how we was gonna get her car back. We didn't know where her car was. Like, eventually she got her car back and everything like that. I think it took a little bit, but it was just so stupid, y'all. And matter of fact, I think that might have been the last time I ever smoked. You know what? That stopped me. That is honestly the last time I ever smoked. Yeah, because I did it for quite a while. And then I think that's probably what put the icing on the cake, because it just freaked me out so much. I didn't know if we was gonna go to jail. I felt like I'm too young to go to jail. And hell, I really can't remember if I had my daughter yet, but I don't think I did. But if I did, I can't be going to jail. I have a baby. And it was just too much. I didn't want my father finding out, which, like I said, y'all, my daddy subscribed to my channel, so I'm sure he found out, which he ended up finding out anyway. Not about that, but that I had smoked. But yeah, like, y'all, it was real intense. That's probably why I have issues and panic attacks now that brought that out of me, because it was so serious. It was so real. I was terrified. I'm so glad that nothing majorly bad happened to us back then, because y'all know with everything that's going on now, oh my God, I don't know if I would have been here today. You know, Black lives do matter. So, you know, I'm glad nothing like that crazy happened to us. But I think after that I was done. Now Mimi, I don't think she stopped after that. You know, she was a real savage. But Riri, she didn't do it anymore. But I think after that, Riri was over it. Every time we ended up together, some madness was going on. It was just stupid stuff. Like, yeah, I'm just reflecting back on like the dumb stuff me and my cousins did. Like, it used to be fun, but now it's just like, why did we do that? It was a point in time where we were going down the wrong way on the highway, like, and cars were coming. It was ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. Like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm alive. I hope y'all enjoyed this little story. It wasn't like that exciting, but I still hope you guys enjoyed the story. And I think it was kind of all over the place because, like I said, I was already under the influence of drugs when this event happened. So some stuff is a little fuzzy, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.